Whoa. Boom, boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're starting a new series where I'll be alphabetically going through my OCs and telling you about them because, as I have learned, you guys actually care about my OC lore, which is cool. And I love my OC lore, so, like, really, I should be talking about it more, and here's my excuse to do it. So today, we're starting off with A, and A is for Abadon. Now let's just get something out of the way real quick. Abadon is technically from a closed species. I know, guys, okay? Just relax. I've recently distanced myself from the closed species owner because TLDR, they're a bitch. So technically this is a closed species, but I am going to slowly rework the character to be my own thing. And since I already own the design, it's mine already, so I can kind of do whatever I want with it. I am a firm believer that once you sell something to someone, they own it. So I can change this character all I want, and if it breaks the rules of the custom species, oh well. Anyways, another thing I want to get out of the way real quick is that Abadon uses all pronouns. She, he, they, them, it. All of them. You can refer to Abadon in any way you'd like to. He does not mind. But now, onto the actual info about him. So I'm gonna be honest. I had little to no information on Abadon before drawing this picture. Okay, I literally sat down right before this recording and wrote down a bunch of things about this character that I had to come up with on the spot because I was like, I'm about to share lore. And I was really proud of this character up until I realized their lore was like one thing, and it's that they were a god and they lived at the church in Queen's Kingdom. By the way, this is Queen's Kingdom content, so W in chat for Queen's Kingdom fans. Abadon is the symbol of faith, is like the god of faith, or the abstract concept of faith. She's mischievous and fun-loving and often finds herself in some silly scenarios. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck. So a little backstory here is that in Queen's Kingdom, there's this church, and the church worships a bunch of these different gods. What are the other gods? Who are the other gods? Don't ask. They have not been developed yet. I will someday, but that's not on the top of my priority list right now. For now, all you need to know is that there's a church. It worships a lot of different gods. He's one of them, and now he's here on Earth, or whatever the planet is called. Dude, someday I'm gonna name that planet, because this is not the first time I've run into this. Oh my god, what's the planet's name? Like, whatever. We'll just call it Earth for now, and then we'll rename it later. So yeah, Abadon lives on Earth, and she shouldn't. Like, they shouldn't be there. But in order to not get caught, because, like, the whole thing is, like, faith, the whole concept of faith is that you have to believe in something that can't be proven to be real. It's like it's the abstract concept of faith or whatever. So it would really, like, diminish the point to prove that the gods are real, because then, I mean, then it's like a whole different vibe then. So she has to keep herself on the down low. So she wears pony glamour, which if you're cultured, you know where I got that from. But I'm gonna call it glamour because that's what it is. And the pony glamour, like, okay, so the thing about Queen's Kingdom is that Queen's Kingdom is comprised of mainly ponies with a few one-off characters like Abadon. But the thing where I'm hesitating on this is because sometimes I really like drawing them as anthros, like anthro ponies. So the context of the glamour completely depends on what the context of the piece is. So sometimes my characters from that universe will be anthropomorphized, and sometimes they will just be ponies. So whatever the context, like whatever it needs to be used for the situation, it's based on that. So whatever the situation calls for, that's what kind of glamour Abadon's got. Which when I came up with this idea, I really wanted to draw both of the glamour versions, but I don't have the time for that, gamers. I kind of fell in love with this concept, but I will someday, you know, if you guys want to see it. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so he uses this pony glamour, in whatever form it takes, to go out into town and interact with people. Obviously, he can't introduce himself as Abadon, so they introduce themselves as Abby, like from FNAF. And that's also what so Chloe, did I mention Chloe at all in this video? I genuinely can't remember. She's a character named Chloe. She's the head priest. This video is not about her, so you don't need to know much information about her right now. But here's what you need to know. She does not believe in the gods. She doesn't believe in any of them. And she's a little stupid. And she's the head nun. Like I said, she's like the head dog, the top dog. She also lives in the church with Abadon, and they're like besties. But since Chloe doesn't believe in gods, it's like it's a funny, quirky relationship they have, because Abadon eventually one day shows off what she looks like to Chloe. She's like, hey Chloe, is this a safe space? And Chloe's like, yeah, it's a church. And she's like, not that kind of safe space. I mean, like, can I trust you? And Chloe's like, yeah, totally. So she like, Abadon transforms out of glamour, and Chloe's like, oh my god, wow, you're huge. You kind of look like that statue outside. And Abadon's like, that's because I am the statue outside. And Chloe's like, nah, because gods aren't real. And Abadon's just grateful that Abadon knows full well that he is safe around Chloe, because Chloe's not going to tell anyone, oh my god, Abadon's a god, because Chloe doesn't believe in gods. That's what the best part about it is. Like, they have such a wonderful friendship because of that fact. So the townspeople do know Abadon, but just the glamour form, and they can't call him Abadon, so they call him Abby. So, but it's funny because sometimes when Abadon goes out late at night and gets super fucked up and then has to come back home to the church, which she's not supposed to do, by the way. She's technically a nun, in heavy quotation marks, at the church. That's how she gets to live there. And so anyways, she goes out and she parties, and then sometimes she forgets to put her glamour, like her glamour kind of falters because she's got to pay attention to it. Like, it's something you have to put focus onto. It's a concentration spell. And sometimes her concentration will slip, and like in the dead of night, she'll be going back to the church in the dark, and like people have seen her. She is a like cryptid, like a town cryptid, like folklore type of thing. They call him the Fluffnar, because guys, last night I saw a big creature with a whale tail. It had the tail of a whale. And people are like, well, I thought I saw a horn. Well, it must be some kind of narwhal. But guys, it's fluffy. I saw it had fur. It's fleur. And so they eventually just started calling it the Fluffnar, because everyone saw, no one could agree on what it was, but they could agree on what they saw. Like, it was a whale tail, it was a unicorn horn, and there was lots of fluff. So they nicknamed him the Fluffnar, because sometimes their glamour doesn't work. Abadon knows about this and thinks it's the funniest thing on planet Earth, but also doesn't want to get caught, because like getting caught could lead to some very serious like consequences from the rest of the gods. Because like me developing this on the spot, there's a hierarchy of gods, and Abadon is one of the lower tiers of god. So they've got stuff going on, but it's not like the top of the priority list. You know, he's not God, you know? God, how many times have I said God in this video? Cries. Oh, I suppose I should mention what I'm actually drawing. So in this picture, I drew this thing that I've had this idea in my head forever, where Abadon is posing for a picture right next to his statue outside, and like it's like, shh, that's me, that's my secret identity. It's just a silly little picture. I really like it. And yeah, I've been that's kind of the basic gist of Abadon. They're not too developed, but they're one of my favorite characters from Queen's Kingdom, and I wish they had more about them. So I'm gonna write more about them, because I can. It's my OC. And maybe you'll get to hear more about them someday, but I don't know, guys. I just don't know if you want that. If only there was some way for you to let me know what kind of videos you wanted to see. That's crazy. A big Patreon shout out to Styx, Starling Studio, and Spazzy. Thank you so much for joining me on my first episode of my alphabet series, and if you'd like to know who's next, head on over to my Discord server and check out the POTD channel, where you guys get to vote on who's next. If I have enough characters to vote on, okay? I don't have a ton of characters, guys. I can't have you vote on all of them, I'm sorry.